Good evening, everybody. It's a nice mid-October evening here in Ohio, and the next project on the hiker is this Ames Power 2000 watt pure sine wave inverter with an AC pass-through. So I don't have to run off the battery. If I've got power at the campsite, it'll just pass through that. And what I wanted to do before I did do the how-to videos of the installation, and wanted to walk through the final product first. All right, so this is a little awkward, but there is a power button. There we go. All right, I'm going to turn it back on. Okay, so let's start at the top here and we'll work our way down. So the reason it's up here is I was thinking about putting it down below, but it was going to get in the way of stuff I keep down here. I thought about putting it on the wall, but it's kind of heavy and I would need to maybe do some through bolts, and I just didn't want to do that with the camper. I want to kind of reduce the number of things I'm drilling holes in the side of the camper for. And so, this is a pretty tight space, and I won't probably use this a whole lot because, it's back behind the frame of the door. This is where it ended up. It does come with a set of gray feet to help with isolation, vibration isolation, but I think it's kind of made for like a wood screw. So I decided to just use some, rubber isolation mounts I already had. I think this is number 8, 32 threads. And I tried using a regular washer, but it wouldn't, it was kind of falling into the slot in this foot. So I had to use a fender washer to, so it wouldn't, do that. And it's in there pretty solid but isolated, so I'm pleased with how that came out. I've got an outlet up there. I might put an outlet up in the front of the cabin, I'm not sure. But I've got an outlet down here on the driver's side and another outlet on the passenger side. And I was thinking about using a 2-aught cable. This is 2 American wire gauge, so it's a lot smaller, and it might be an issue at the top end of the inverter, like 2000 watts. I wasn't planning to use all 2000 watts. It's just what the inverter came with, right? It was spec'd for. Might be too much of a voltage drop on the 2 gauge, so but the problem was I couldn't. I've got 2-aught, but it was too stiff to get around this tight bend, and so basically I just ran it in front of the shelf, and then down the corner of the camper, down to these 150 amp distribution blocks, these terminal blocks, and then so. I think that's it on this shelf. So let's jump down a shelf. So this is the distribution block for the AC power. So the top row will be the line, the bottom row will be neutral, and then this is ground. Ground for the outlets runs back to the inverter. The inverter's got some protections. I don't think it's GFCI, but it's got an overload protection. So there's a circuit breaker there, and so the safe thing to do is just run it back to the inverter. But the inverter's got a ground hookup that you run to chassis. In this case, what I did was I ran it to where I've got the battery ground, and then this cable here ties everything to chassis. So the DC system and the AC system have the same ground plane, and which has the same ground plane as the 7-pin connector that comes from the tow vehicle. Yeah, not much to see down here that you haven't already seen. Yeah, so I gotta maybe put some zip ties like right there to finish this, but yeah. All right, I forgot one thing, and that was the AC pass-through. So there's an outlet that comes in from the side of the camper, and then it comes into this splitter. So there's an open end here. Here's the other one. And all I did was I bought a 12 gauge replacement utility cord for like a power tool. And it already came with like tinned ends. And I just, screwed that right into the European style terminal up on the inverter. Easy peasy. I think I maybe spent like $10 on it. Yeah, and I can always unplug it if I need to. So that's why I didn't just cut this off and splice into it. I had this ready-made solution you can get from a big box store. Let's go around to the side, and here, let me show you this first. I got a load plugged in, but let me show you the tester. Oops, I think I turned it off. Hold on. Yeah, so when the right two amber lights are lit up, it's correct wiring, that last row there, correct. And then plug in a load, this box fan. That works fine. Won't show you the other side. It looks exactly like this side, right below. The same thing on the other side. And then, that is the inverter from the sleeping area. And the unit came with a black electrical box or cover that you could put over those European style terminal blocks, but it looks kind of ugly, and I like the look of the European terminal block better, and it's protected well enough being up and away and behind, so I'm not going to worry about it. There is provisions for a remote control. It uses an RJ9 connector, so 4 wires. One of the wires is ground. The other second wire will be a momentary on-off to turn the unit on and off, and then the other 2 wires are for an LED light showing like normal or fault. Ames Power will sell you a remote for like $34, something like that. I can probably make one for 10. And might put a remote here in the cabin where it's easy to get to, but not right now. This is good enough, for now. And I think that will be enough for right now. So let's get to the how-to videos, and you'll be hearing some of this again.